Were you nervous going back? Like going back home? Were you?
I have not readjusted myself in Germany. I'm not planning to stay
Ooh.
forever. Um,
So the reason I asked you here is because I know you recently went home. First of all, congratulations for going to 50 states. I keep looking at your pictures and I was like, and I know when I came here, I was also like, I'm gonna do all 50 states.
yeah, I was too. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not going to get it done anyway. And then COVID hit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to get it done. And then
Uh-huh.
I ended up getting it done, and it was awesome.
Gosh, I need to bring you back because there's a video where I spoke about traveling and I was talking about you and like how you did all 50 states. And I was just like, I need to bring you back to find out how you did it. Because, girl, based on how much you earned, I was just like, every time I would see you, I'm like, I need to get back to that. I need to get back to it.
Hey,
Um,
anytime.
yeah, so we definitely having you again. But in today's video, I basically want to talk about what's it like being back because I know you were on a pair and I want you to just say hi to the people first before we carry on with the conversation. So the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
I don't know. I hate those things. Yeah, like, I was an au pair for almost 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny to see, like, I came to the US like a little bit before you did.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're still there and you're staying longer and longer and longer.
Great.
And
It's so
yeah.
so.
Yeah, so yeah, I stayed for almost 3 years. I did my 50 stays. I lived in 3 different families, 3 different locations throughout the US, and I just came back in June.
Yeah.
And freaking weird.
So today's topic is mainly about like readjusting or adjusting back into your home country. How was that? Were you nervous going back? Like going back home? Were you nervous because you had been here for like so long?
I wouldn't say nervous. Like, I didn't want to go, and I knew I was gonna miss the US and, like, certain things and people and traveling and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, well, Germany has this, 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 and this, and I'm definitely not looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So I was more like, I don't really want to go, as opposed to nervous, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
I was looking forward to like start working again because I had a job lined up and stuff.
Mhm.
So I was looking forward to that to like, make normal money and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't nervous and I wasn't excited.
Did you
Yeah.
feel so like I know I struggled with this the first time I went home after like au pairing. Did you feel like everything had moved on in sense of like your friends had now these new inside jokes or like some of them were married or some of them were dating and you hadn't met? Did you feel like did you struggle like just trying to pick up everyone's social life or were you just like, oh, I'm back and you picked up where you left off?
Mostly that, like, some people started dating. Like, one of my friends had another baby. One of my friends has a new partner now when, before he was very, like, not in serious relationships. And now he's, like,
Uh-huh.
he's had a girlfriend for, like, a year. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But, like, the readjustment and, like, getting back into the social circle, wasn't really that hard. Like, I tried to, like, meet up with everybody, like, right before I came, even with, like, family members and stuff.
Mhm.
And it was literally like, okay, well, I haven't seen you for a couple months, but that's all right. And yeah,
A year.
it was. Yeah. How was it for you when you went back? Like,
I haven't been back since. In
no,
fact,
like after your first time.
oh, after my first time. So it was a bit different because quite a few people had gotten married when I was here. And then
Mm.
my best friend had a boyfriend. And like my cousin had got married to someone I hadn't met. And so it was a bit strange because when I got back, I found people had, as I said, these inside jokes that I didn't understand. And so
Yeah.
they would explain it to me, but it still wasn't as funny because I had to be like, like some jokes are not funny when you say it to someone else. It's funny when you're there. And then
Mm.
it was just like I found that like because I had been here and I'd seen the world, some things were now smaller. Like, guys, are we still doing that again? Or like you're so used to the customer service here, and I don't know how it's like in Germany, but in South Africa, customer service is so different. And
Here,
this is like a fast-paced country. Come back there and you're like, why is everything so slow?
yeah.
And so for you, how has that been like whether you go eat takeout or just certain situations you're like, why are you guys doing it this way? It is a faster way. Do you ever feel frustrated like that?
Honestly, I was positively surprised that Germany now is starting to do self like self checkout lanes,
Uh-huh.
and they're having like those computers at like McDonald's and stuff where you can like pick things, and I was like, what? Germany's making progress. What's going on?
Yeah.
It was really funny because like before it was like you queue, you line up, you wait forever,
Mhm.
and like you wait your turn, and now they're starting those things, and I'm like, what?
Yes.
But you know what I'm having a really big problem with? Not making a right on red. Like anytime I'm approaching a red light and I have to make a right, I'm like, okay, well, road is free, I can go.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh wait, no, I should not.
Yeah,
every time. It's, oh my god, it's so exhausting.
That's true. Because like that was something I remember my best friend taking me out from the airport, and as we came out of the airport, and then we would turn onto the main road onto like the highway. And I was sitting in the passenger seat. First of all, our seats are different. So I went to the driver's side back home, and I was like, wait, I'm not driving. It's like the wrong side. So fine. But I remember the first thing that reminded me I was back in South Africa was when we were on the freeway, I was like panicking because I'm like sitting there trying to be calm, trying to be normal. But then I was like, and I finally said to her, I was like, why are you driving on the wrong side of the road? And she like, look, she gets in front and she's like, no, I'm not. It's like the right side. So like in South Africa, roads are like we drive on different sides to America. And so that took me a while readjusting. And obviously I came back here and I had to learn it all over again. And so now that's my fear when I go back, is also like, when I go there, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, like the panic. Because I remember coming here, the same thing happened again when I came back this time. I had to learn it again. And I was like panicking because I was like going on the wrong side of the road. And so you guys, the roadside is like, it's the same side. Even the steering wheel is the same side as America. So that is easy.
Hey, what?
No, I'm saying like the driving. The driving is very similar to
America. For us. Yeah.
So you don't have that problem. In terms of food, do you guys have a lot of American restaurants? Did you even eat a lot of American foods here?
No, but one more thing about the driving first. Sorry. Something that's also freaking me out. So, in America, you have like, 3, 4, 5 lanes, whatever. And people just go, and people like make sure that not everybody's in one lane. So it's like not as jammed.
Yeah.
Right? And here, so technically in America, they all have to go on the right side unless they're like passing somebody, right? Nobody does it though. But I think it's good that they don't do it because that makes it more like, it gives the traffic more of a flow. Because people are trying to like be in different lanes and like it makes everything more roomy. And here we have the same rule. You have to be on the right side unless you're passing somebody, and people actually do it. So everybody is jammed on the right lane, left lane is free, and people are like mushed on the right lane, and I'm like, why? That's why traffic jams are awful here. And we also don't have shoulders on the highway really most of the time. So when there's like an accident, you're actually stuck. You're standing, you're stuck, and you're waiting forever. And in America, it's like, okay, well, we have 5 lanes, we have a shoulder, we're going to pull that car over on the shoulder, and then everybody can like pass on the left 2 lanes or something, and it's going to be slower but not stopped. It's awful.
Okay, that could be frustrating. We definitely have shoulders in South Africa. The only thing is, I find Americans don't indicate. And so I'm excited for that because I am the indicator. Even my friends, like I have some friends who are American, and when I jump in their car, I was just like, because like they speed a lot. We also speed a lot in South Africa, but they don't indicate. Like they don't like, if they're going left, they're not going to tell you they're going left. They just go. And you're just like sitting there waiting. So that's one thing I'm like, oh, I'd love that home. They don't indicate, but they honk. Oh, they honk it like, oh my god, at every little thing. Like you just cough. They're like, bah! They do. That's one thing. Yeah, that is spot on. That's one thing. So, have you been in contact with some of your Aupair friends? Like, what's that been like? Do you still? Because I know you have friends everywhere, especially the German girls, like in the German community. Like when you went home, have you seen any of them yet? No, actually, I wanted to see my like Aupair bestie, like from my first year. 2 weeks ago, I was gonna spend the weekend at her house, but she had COVID, and then I didn't go. But we planned something. We had something planned at least. You guys, and apart from that, not really. Because like some of my friends, I don't really like. I'm not really in regular touch with anymore. Some people I just text occasionally, and then some people are still in the US. So that's obviously texting and not, seeing each other. And your host family, are you still in contact with your host family?
Yeah, with the first and third. The second, like occasionally, but
Oh,
since
the
I
ones that,
rematched,
yeah, like the ones that are here near my house. So, in
yeah,
case you guys don't know, Michelle actually used to live near my house. We were like 4 houses away. I see your host kid like outside playing sometimes. Your ex-host kid, he'll be like
yeah,
outside playing. But
yeah,
that's cool. That's like a while ago. You still in contact with them?
yeah. I'm actually like I mean, most frequently I text the girl,
Mm-hmm.
um, but you know, sometimes I text the mom and like catch up, and
Yeah.
I've been wanting to like ask them to FaceTime or something, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, last time I saw them was last year. Yeah, like about a year ago.
Oh.
They took me on vacation while I was living in St. Louis with my third host family.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
yeah, that was awesome, and I want to see if I can go visit them at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously I have to talk to them about it. Um, yeah.
But that's what I wanted to ask. That was like my next question. Like, do you ever see yourself coming back to visit or coming back to stay? Or do you feel like you already readjusted yourself in Germany?
Um, I have not readjusted myself in Germany. I'm not planning to stay
Ooh.
forever. Um, but I also don't want to live in the U.S. permanently.
Uh-huh.
Because the social system is shit, and their workers' laws are shit, and you literally don't have any rights as an employee. So I don't want to do that for
Yeah.
permanent time. I would go back for like a year or two, maybe, just to like live there as an adult, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Not, like relying on somebody else's household and stuff,
Yeah.
just like living by myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would do that, but not permanently. But I definitely see myself coming back to visit or like, to see a couple more things I haven't seen. I mean, there's not that much left on my bucket list for the US, but still some things.
All the states. I'm like, it's only like the really cold states I'm not in a rush to see because I'm just like, oh no. It's like cold, cold, cold.
But the coldest state, I mean, I guess Alaska is the coldest state, right? But it's so pretty, you have to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. I need to be like bundled up. You only need to see my eyes if I'm gonna go see that.
Oh, that was me. I
Yeah.
had like this fleece thing, right? Like
Uh-huh.
over my face, and then like scarves and stuff, and a hat, and I literally just had my eyes free, and then my eyelashes were freezing, and like had little ice crystals on them and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it was awesome. Like Alaska is so pretty, especially in the winter, and then you get to
You
see
went
the
in the
northern lights.
winter?
Yeah, in February.
Oh gosh, no. No. I will go, but I'm not going in the winter. I barely go to New York in the winter. Where am I going to there? No.
Well, I wanted to see the northern lights, so you basically have to go in the winter.
Oh, I see. That's okay, okay. That's something to consider. How's it being back with your family? Like, how's it being back living? Do you still live with your family, live at home, or did you move out?
Yeah, right now I do because it's the most
Okay,
logical
I
thing for
get
me to
it.
do.
Yeah,
But oh my god.
yeah, yeah. I get it. I was like, it's different, especially when you
Yeah,
traveled, when you
I
have
know.
the
And like,
freedom.
I'm 25. Like, I'm old. I'm too old for this shit.
And it's not even that. I think there's nothing wrong with living at a home, but it becomes hard when you've traveled. It becomes
Yeah,
hard when you've seen the world and when you've got a taste of, because when you live with host families, like now I live with my host family, to a certain degree, they don't control certain things. Like
yeah,
when I'm off, I'm off. And so they can't be like, why you bought this with your money, or where did you go? Why are you only
Mhm.
coming back this time? Versus your
Can you
parents.
clean the bathroom? Can you
Yeah,
put your shoes away?
yeah.
I don't want 5 pairs of shoes right here. And
And
like
so
Americans being naturally messy, they wouldn't care. But also, I find it easier, like, to have like all my stuff in my room when I'm living with strangers, basically,
yeah,
than when I think I had like one pair of shoes in like the shoe cabinet in my first host family,
yeah,
and the second and the third I had them like all. Oh no, I had one out too. Like, but
yeah.
everything else was in my room. And then if I needed different shoes, I would just bring them out. And here it's like, okay, I'm just gonna toss them there,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's the same. It's like, yeah, all my shoes are in the room. And then what happens, especially on the weekend, like if I'm changing, I'll bring them out. And then, like, you come back sometimes later, you just change your shoes by the door because we don't wear shoes in the house. You'll change by the door, go in, whatever. But then, like, on a Monday or like whatever, I'll take my 2 pairs that were downstairs because I know I'm not going to wear them in the week. Like, let's say I had heels or boots, or I'll take them up and put them in my room, but you won't find them in the lounge. You won't just find them by the door randomly. Okay, question for you. Would you ever consider au pairing again? Would you
So while I was an au pair, it would have been a very, very strong no. Right after I came home, it would have been a very, very strong no. Now I'm like, I could imagine it for a short period of time. Like for a month or two, yeah. I would not do like a year or two or whatever again.
Yeah.
Just because I'm too old for it now, I think.
There's New Zealand. The maximum is 30. But like, what next? Are you gonna travel, or are you like settling down for like just you don't want to live in Germany, you said, and you don't want to live in America. So where's like the end goal after au pairing?
I really don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I want to travel more. I want to see the world and like see as many countries, as many things as I can. Yeah. But I don't have a specific plan as to how I'm gonna pull it up. But I'm gonna come up with something. Like right now, I'm here working. I just started studying, and so for traveling you need money. So I'm just trying to like save up money so I can like start traveling again. I'm actually going to Norway next month, but that's about it for now. Since it's also expensive right now, so I'm just like, okay, I'll save money and then see where I'm gonna go for how long and how, and yeah.
Did you save money for going home? Like, did you save money? Because I know you did a lot of states, and so I always say to people, it's either you're gonna go home with money or you're gonna go home and experience. Like, you're gonna travel and see. So like, were you experience or were you?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like,
I was broke and experienced. Yeah. I literally used up all my savings that I had in Germany. So yeah. Okay. I was broke. Oh.
Okay. Listen, you got what you wanted. You wanted to travel 50 states, and you got to use money. Yeah. What's the one thing you learned about au pairing that like will take you where you'll never forget, or just like as you do life every day?
About au pairing?
Yeah. What's something you learned? Or let's say, what's one thing you learned about Michelle during your au pair year?
I don't know. So like, I feel like when you're an au pair, you grow. Like your personality grows a lot. Like there's no, it's I don't know. There's no way around it. And so I think the most important thing that I learned is to like stand up for myself and set boundaries. If people like try to push me around or whatever. I used to like take so much more shit than I do now. And I used to take so much more shit. So I think that's like the most important thing. And like the biggest thing that I changed, or well, I didn't like actively change it, but that changed about myself while I was in the US, I guess.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Would you recommend au pairing to people?
Definitely. I mean, it's a really good program. It's a really good program to like get to know yourself and like also what you have to work on. Like it's not only the growth itself, because like growth partially happens automatically, but it's also things that you realize that you might have to change about your behavior, about yourself, or things that might like be an obstacle in like, I don't know, achieving your goals or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely hard. It's not easy. Sometimes I feel like people are like, oh yeah, you're just chilling all day. Yeah, no, you're not.
Emotionally taxing. Like,
yeah, it's super hard work. You're basically underpaid money-wise. Obviously, you get a lot of other stuff, right? Free board and food and stuff is worth a lot. But it's hard. So I always say to people, like, do it, but don't underestimate it.
Yeah.
It's a great program. And also, I feel like it also teaches you to, like, be more self-sufficient and, like, more independent, because, like, some people try to, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to rely on, like, the agency or whatever, but the agency is not always there for you. Like, they say they are, but they're not.
Especially if you have bad agency. Like some of these agencies out here, the minute you take their money, it's over.
Yeah. And like sometimes it's like a case-to-case decision for them whether they're actually going to do something for you. Like I had some really good experiences with my agency, and sometimes I was like, people, what are you doing? Or like with my friend as well. Like she was in her matching period for her second year now, and they like didn't do shit. When I was in rematch, they didn't do shit. But beforehand, they were like super helpful. So it's like a case-to-case, like, I don't know, difference for them. But it's, yeah. You know, like try to like push yourself through, make your own decisions, try to achieve whatever you need to achieve by yourself first before you like try to get help from the agency. Most of the time you don't need the agency though. Like,
so you need them. You do. I feel like it's good to have support, because I always say it's good to have support, and like I am happy with my agency. You don't really need. I would say you don't really need your agency when you're here if you have a good host family.
Yeah.
However,
True.
it can be very risky just coming without an agency.
You can. I mean, you can legally.
I'm actually going to speak to someone soon who came without an agency.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she shows this whole way of how to come without an agency, and I'm actually interested because most of the people I know came with agencies, and
I mean, I did it without an agency in Ireland, but
and how was that?
I mean, it was pretty easy. You know, I booked a flight, I flew over there, and then, I mean, I canceled after like 2 months or something, and I was like, okay, I'm out of here. But, so that's why I'm saying, like, you don't technically need the agency, but in the US you do, because otherwise it's illegal, and you might, I mean, you'll certainly be deported if, you know, they find out, but you might not be able to go back there ever. So, I mean, I personally wouldn't risk it, but that's a different story. Yeah, but back to the question. So, like, to sum that answer up, I would definitely recommend being an au pair if you are interested in cultural exchange, if you are willing to work with kids, and if you're willing to work with exhausting kids, because American kids are freaking exhausting. But it's a great opportunity to grow and to learn stuff about yourself, make experiences for life, to travel and to learn so much about a different culture and live in a country that could be like so different from your own country. Depending on where you're from, obviously. And you're probably going to make friends for life, and you're going to make memories for life. So if you're up for it, go for it.
Yeah, if you're up for it, definitely go for it. So I know when you come here, whenever au pairs come to whichever country you're au pair in our case it was America, you get homesick. But what people don't talk about is that when you go back to your own country, you also get homesick for America or the country you're au pair in. Do you ever get homesick for this country?
Oh, all the time. Funny enough, I never got homesick for Germany, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Not like the food or the snacks or the culture or the way they... Because like,
no. Like there were some things, you know, where I was like, oh yeah, I miss like that kind of food or whatever, but it was more like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm in the mood for it, but not that I was actually homesick for it, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so here, I'm like homesick for the language, the traveling, the life. And most of the time, it's like country music triggering it, because that's like, I don't know, the perfect image of America in my head. Or like, it's not the perfect image, but it's like what triggers the America feeling, if that makes sense. And so I'm like, oh, I want to go back. I want to travel. I want to be in the South. I want to speak English. I want to, I don't know, do this and do that.
Okay, I get it. Because you guys don't speak English. Is not the first
language. No, we don't.
No, it's like the signs and everything. Oh, okay. Because I was like, do you want to speak the language? Okay, I get it. Okay. Oh, okay. So when I go home, I speak English. I speak Zulu. For me, it's the opposite. I actually miss having diversity. Like I wish, they had more. So I miss having English, African, Zulu, Xhosa. Like I miss hearing other languages about South Africa. That's what makes me homesick. And like the food in South Africa, because our food is like night and day. But I get it when you say you miss the language, because I was like, what do you mean you miss the language? It's English, you know. But it makes sense. It's like, and I feel like Germany, it's like it's just one language in a way. You miss here the diversity.
you know, like at work, I sometimes need English now
Uh-huh.
because I'm in like sales and we have international customers and stuff.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I hear other Germans speak English, and it's just this like
Yeah. Yeah. It's not
German
your first
English.
language, so it's
And
yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not the same. And then whenever, you know, like I FaceTime my friends from Cali or something, we like pretty regularly try to FaceTime, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, it's
Water? You want some water? You missed the water. That's actually like I didn't think of it because when you said it, I kept as I'm saying, I kept being like, but it makes so much sense because of like the
yeah,
country you come from. Like it
yeah,
makes sense. So for you, it was like this whole year. Do you think also because when I met you, your English was amazing. But
thanks.
like now too, it's still, you know what I'm saying? Like when you got here, do you think coming to English speaking country helped you with your English?
Um, I mean, I was fluent before, so it didn't. I mean, it helped a little bit with the fluency, not super much because I already had like quite a good level, right?
Uh-huh.
It definitely helped with my accent because, like, in the end, most people were surprised when I told them I wasn't American. So that
Really?
was awesome, yeah. But you know, like now being back, not speaking it every day, my German accent is coming back, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
Why?
Um,
Oh, you feel like you going backwards?
I am going backwards, certainly. Um, it's the worst, and so like it definitely helped like getting rid of my accent. I mean, obviously you have to put effort in. If
Yeah.
you're not going to work on it, it's not going to progress, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely helped with my accent. It did help some with the fluency, and obviously you learn like new phrases and vocabulary and stuff if you're not a native speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, I'm curious. Like, did you learn any new like phrases or vocabulary that you didn't know before because you guys just call it differently in your country?
Absolutely. I still to this day, I was when one Sunday, was it Sunday or last week? One of the Sundays, I was like, they will always be. I don't think I would ever be like, oh my gosh, like how people assume you American. I don't think I'll ever have that moment because, and I'm fine with it. Um, because I always joke to my host family, it's like I can't hear people's accents in America until they say water or bathroom. They like drag their words. And I'm like bathroom, water, you know.
Uh-huh.
But they'll say like things like they call it aluminium. I mean, we call it they call it I call it aluminium. They call it aluminum.
Oh,
The exact same thing, and I'm like, huh?
yeah,
Or what we say is like
yeah,
tackies, they say sneakers, and so it's like stuff like that where my friends would be like, hey, can you pass me the aluminum? And before I didn't know what she was talking about, I was like, what's that? And then till she was like
uh,
this, and I was like, oh, aluminium, you know. It's been like I'm constantly finding those barriers in a way where they'll say something, and I'm like, I don't know what's that, and everyone's like, what do you mean you don't know what's that? And then they'll show me, and I'm like, oh, you know, or like what. Like there's certain hot sauce. My friends were saying, "Oh, we're gonna buy this hot sauce," and they all like, "Yeah, that's a good one." And so I was like, "What's like?" They said the brand, and it's a barbecue sauce. Sorry, they said the brand, and I was like, "Huh?" And they all laughed at me. They're like, "You know what, so and so?" And I was like, "No." And then they look at
yeah,
me like, "You serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like,
yeah,
"Oh, she's not American." And they had to Google it because all four of them were like, "Who doesn't know this barbecue sauce?" And I was like, legit, like, I don't know. And they Googled it and they showed me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." But and they were like, you could see they all were genuinely like, "Oh, she really doesn't know what we're talking about," you know.
yeah.
Um, so it's stuff like that. I'm actually more excited to go home because people back home have been telling me my accent is changing. I'm sounding American. And so I'm like, I need to go home ASAP. I need to go pick up my African accent again. There is no way I'm losing it. So there's that. I feel like when I come back, when I go home and visit, I'm gonna come back with a thick accent again. And it's gonna be like starting all over again. There's times where I have to like if I say, "Hey, do you guys have a bathroom?" They're like, "Huh? The bathroom, huh?" Like I have to, and then my friends will say it for me, and they're like, "Oh, okay, it's over here," you know.
Yeah.
So it's been like stuff like that, but otherwise, I've never been mistaken for being American because of
So
my.
for you it's the opposite, right? Like you're trying to keep your accent instead
Oh
of
yeah, oh yeah.
losing it like me.
No, I'm like I am. proud of this accent. I will keep it to the core. I want it to be thick. I'm like, listen, because even when I couldn't figure out a word in Zulu, and I was just like so devastated. I was like, I know this word. And so
Mm.
now I'm like, I need to watch more South African shows. I need to watch Zulu, Afrikaans. Even when my family calls me, I speak to them. I respond in Zulu because I'm like, I can't forget like my language. Like this is
Mm.
what I want, you know. Um,
How many
so
languages do you speak?
so I speak Zulu and I speak Zulu and English. I understand a little bit of Afrikaans. Like I can
Okay.
understand and I can say the basic. That's why
Mm.
when you guys spoke, I understood a bit of it because it's so similar.
Yeah.
Um, so like I can, if you speak slowly or like not like like I'm a native, then I
Mm.
can't. If you speak slowly or you like said, I can pick up like a few words in it.
Mm.
But Zulu, when it comes to Zulu and Zulu and English, that's like what I really spoke at home. And
Yeah.
so I'm trying to hang on to all three. Well, not English. I'm trying to hang on to the others. Um, so
That's
it's
good.
fun like that, yeah. But otherwise, it's been fun. It seems like I'm waiting to see like your stuff from back home. I still like because like I keep looking at your stuff to see, like posting back home. Did you surprise your family when you went home, or did they know you were coming
No.
home?
No, they knew.
They knew you were coming home. Were your parents excited, or were they like, "Why are you
No.
here?" They
Yeah.
were. They were like, "No, you should have stayed."
It was really funny because like I got out of the airport and my parents were trying to figure out like what exit I was coming out or like
Mhm.
when I came through customs, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm here. So I sent them a picture of like my view, right? You know, what you do so people know what you're seeing so they know where you are, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so my dad saw me and my mom was like, no, that's not her. And so she's like trying to figure it out on a map on her phone. My dad walks over and like brings me like over to her, right? And she's like still looking on her phone while I'm standing next to her. It was so funny. And then she looks and she's like, oh, where did you come from?
Didn't even recognize you. Oh
It was
wow.
hilarious. Like I was standing there with my suitcases, like trying to see them. I didn't see them,
Hmm.
and yeah, my dad did, and she's like, "No, that's not her."
Wow.
And he's like, "Of course, that's her." Like,
Uh-huh. What is like the first thing you ate when you got home? Like, what was like the first thing? Were there any specific snacks or like foods you wanted to have the minute you got back?
I really wanted to have McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
I didn't. I didn't
You
like
left
until a
McDonald's
couple weeks.
here.
What?
You left McDonald's here.
No, but they don't have anything vegan in America, and here they
Oh.
like just released ice cream, and they had like a new burger recipe with like a sauce that they didn't have before. So I was like, I need it, and I needed Subway, and you know, like,
So they have a lot of vegan options. Because I was actually watching this video with a German guy in South Africa. He was comparing Germany and South Africa. And he
uh-huh.
was saying how in South Africa we eat a lot of meat, that whole thing, whatever. And in Germany you guys don't. You guys have a lot of
People do.
vegan options and this whole thing. So you guys have a lot of do you guys have a lot of vegan options in Germany?
Yeah. I mean, people do eat a lot of meat. That's like a fact. So if he said no, it's not true. But there still is a lot of vegan options because more and more people are like more interested in plant-based stuff, whether they're vegan or not, right?
Uh-huh.
So while I was in the US, I kept seeing those ads like, oh, this new product, this new product, this new product. I'm like, oh. So I was looking forward to like all those food products and like I said, also like fast food and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so that was super exciting because America is not. I mean, America is fine when it comes to like grocery stuff.
Uh-huh.
You know, like you can get most things that you need in most grocery stores,
Uh-huh.
but fast food wise, they're not really good for vegans.
Oh, I see.
I mean, like the most vegan friendly place is probably Taco Bell, but I didn't know that. Yeah, Taco Bell is great actually.
I should go to Taco Bell and try their vegan food. What do you get at Taco Bell that's vegan?
They have this like Supreme Crunch wrap that you can like veganize by taking off like the sour cream and the cheese.
Uh-huh.
And they have, well, obviously the chips, and then they have different other like bean burritos and stuff. It's like super easy because they have like the computers where you can say like, okay, take this off and put this on. So it's like super easy to like modify it and just be like, okay, I want beans instead of beef, or like take off the sour cream or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So that's super convenient, but I only figured that out in my travel month. So I didn't really, you know, have the
happens.
yeah. I didn't really have the opportunity to like enjoy much of it. And they just released some plant-based beef alternative as well.
Mhm.
So yeah.
When you
And
were
like,
there, did you have the KFC plant-based wings? I mean, chicken
yeah,
nuggets.
I did once.
Yeah.
I didn't like them. I mean, they were so greasy. I couldn't do it.
The grease was not your friend.
Nope.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm so glad I could talk to you. It seems like you're doing well. I keep waiting to see like what's Germany like through your eyes.
Yeah, I mean,
It seems like
I'm
you posted
trying.
more when you were here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to like catch up with all my travel month photos. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's so many, and so then I'm trying to like post every day, and sometimes I forget, and then I'm like, oh well, I'm still in May.
yeah.
Yeah, but we'll get there.
To do reels and show us. But yeah, thanks for telling us. It seems like you're doing well. I know you have a YouTube channel because we've spoken about this.
Yeah,
I would appreciate it if you did more stuff on Germany on your channel.
I will. I was actually inactive for a while, but I'm gonna like start making more videos again, since I don't know, I have stuff to like talk about from like my last months there, and then now
Yeah.
being here and all that kind of stuff. So
You're officially out of the okay world. Like, do you ever see people's posts or just people ranting or complaining and be like, "Oh, I'm so glad."
sometimes, yeah, for sure.
You see stuff and she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad I'm done with that."
Yeah, like one, like my friends, like complaining about their kids, about their host families and stuff like that. Like, I have to say, like, especially with my third family, I was super lucky. My host mom was awesome. My first host family was great too. The second one also. I mean, I rematched, but they were still great. I didn't rematch because of them, right? So I was really lucky with most situations. Like, obviously, there's always things that you don't like, that don't work out perfectly, because nobody's perfect and people are different.
Yeah.
But where was I going with this? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So like, some people are like not that lucky, and they'll have like arguments with their host parents, and I'm like, bro, you have to do this and that, or stand up for yourself. And I'm literally like getting mad when people don't stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
Because like, I know how it is, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad I'm not in that situation anymore, but you have to stand up for yourself. Or when they're like complaining about their kids, I'm like, peace and quiet, no kids in here.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, where can people find you if they want to stalk you?
Instagram and YouTube, probably Shelly Around the World. I think it's even saying it here.
Yeah,
So
it does say Shirley around the world.
yeah.
Thanks for coming on and talking with us. It's so cool to speak to you.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. That was fun.
Have fun in Germany. Eat the food. I hope to visit Germany one day. It is on.
Oh yeah, do it. Let me know when you do.
Yeah, it is fabulous. I have so many au pairs around that are like, you must come visit. You must come visit from my first year. I have someone in France. I have Mexico. I have Germany. And so
That's
it's
awesome.
like, actually, I'm like, when I come, I'm just gonna be like, hey, I still have everyone on social media. So I'm like, hey, I'm coming to there. Like, hey, I also have someone in London, someone in Dubai.
Awesome.
So it's
Let's
like,
be a round trip.
yeah, it'd be cool to see everyone and just see how everyone is doing outside of the au pair world.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us. We will see
Yeah.
you next time when you come on and you talk about all your traveling, your 50 states. Because that
Yeah. Let me know anytime.
how you did that. That I need to know. But yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much, Shelly. I will see you.
Have a good day.
Don't forget to post. I want to see the posts on Germany.
Yeah, I'll try. Okay, I'll promise.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.